20 years ago today, Doctor Who burst back onto our screens. There's been almost 15 seasons of New Who, several spin-offs, expanded media content, and it has swept the world. In today's video, I'll be looking at the best and worst season of New Who. For context, that kind of means my favourite and least favourite season of New Who, so please feel free to comment down below which ones you would choose. When you say the worst season of New Who, a lot of people automatically jump to Jodie Whittaker's era. Some people might say the 13th season, for example. Personally, I'm pretty fond of that season, but a lot of people really don't like Jodie's era. I'm a lot more fond of that era than maybe the casual audience member, but for me, personally, the worst season of Doctor Who has come down to a draw. In my mind, Series 7 Part B and Series 11 are tied for ultimately the worst seasons of New Who. Also, if you haven't caught by now, the background footage does not match what I'm talking about. It's been 20 years of New Who, I'm just trying to celebrate the whole show here. A lot of people might be wondering why I've chosen Series 7 Part B as one of the ties for the worst season of New Who. One of the reasons I do think it might be one of the worst seasons of the show, just in general, including classic Who, is because of the quality difference and how stark it is between Series 7 Part A and Part B. I honestly believe that almost every single episode in Series 7A is at least mid to good. I pretty much enjoy every single one of these episodes, even if it's not necessarily a good episode like Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I think it's a pretty enjoyable episode, even though it's not the greatest. A Town Called Mercy and Angels Take Manhattan are two of my favourite Doctor Who episodes ever put to screen. I think they're absolutely incredible and really boost Series 7 Part A, so in contrast to Series 7 Part B, it's a letdown. I want to say with Series 7 Part B, I'm not counting the 50th anniversary or the 11th Doctor's regeneration. I kind of see those two as pretty separate. I'm talking about the really mid-run from the Snowmen to the Name of the Doctor. Don't get me wrong, not every single episode within this series is bad. For example, I really like Name of the Doctor, controversially. I think it's a really underrated episode, but then I think there are some really bad episodes in this series, like Hyde. I really think that's an incredibly shit episode. I also really don't like how Clara is portrayed within this season. I think she's so much better in Series 8 and Series 9. She really gets her time to shine, and I like her characterization there. As I previously said on this channel, I absolutely despise her characterization within Series 7 Part B. I hate her whole arc, I just really don't like how they portray her character, or at least up until the 50th anniversary. I think a mixture of how Clara is portrayed within Series 7 Part B, the quality difference, the fact that I really don't like the angle that they went with Series 7, it feels really detached from the rest of Matt Smith's run. I just really don't like what they did with Series 7 Part B, which has really made me despise it. But ultimately, I did say that this was a draw. Of course, as well, I really don't like Season 11 of Doctor Who. I could say the very tired thing of, well, I really enjoy Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, but the writing isn't all there and it's a shame, which a lot of people do say, right? I think a lot of people do say that because it holds some truth. I'm not going to say that. I think the issue with Season 11 is you can't name a standout episode bar The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Genuinely, probably one of the only good episodes in this season. And Demons of the Punjab. I'm not like an absolute monster. I think that episode's pretty good. But I think the thing is with Series 11 of Doctor Who, there just isn't that standout episode. I'm pretty sure if you asked most people, they could probably name a standout episode from each series. There's always that one episode that you're going to come to that you really think was really good in that series and really stands out. Series 11 really doesn't have that, and of course it also has its monster problem. There's just really no good monsters, and they're all original, no returning, feels really detached, doesn't really settle well. So it does feel pretty detached. It's boring, there's not really any standout episodes, the companions are very two-dimensional. Apart from Graham, you really don't get any character development of any of these companions. They just genuinely don't do much. And of course, what adds to this, not that it is his fault, but you replace Murray Gold with Segun Akinola, so the series really feels detached, which ultimately leaves a pretty bad taste in my mouth, and ultimately makes it, in my opinion, one of the worst seasons of New Who. Please feel free to disagree with me down in the comments below, or give your top 2 worst seasons of New Who. I'm very open to everyone's opinions. Your opinion isn't wrong, my opinion isn't wrong, they're opinions at the end of the day. Unlike the worst, I'm really struggling to pinpoint even 2 series to call the best, or my favourite, which basically, for the sake of this video, are pretty much the same thing. Okay. So for my first pick of my favourite, the best series of New Who, I have gone with Series 10, and this was genuinely hard for me to pick. One of my top reasons for this being so high is the 3 final episodes within this series. They are genuinely incredible. The Doctor Falls is a beautiful episode. I love that two-parter so much, and I absolutely adore Peter Capaldi's regeneration. He's my favourite Doctor. I might be a little biased. Okay, so Editing Samuel here. Apparently the BBC do not want me to show this clip and have blocked the video because I have shown this clip. It's incredibly frustrating, but basically, I absolutely adore this scene. It's an amazing scene, and I'm devastated that the BBC won't let me play it in just, this short segment. It's complete fair use, but apparently the BBC don't like when other people glaze their shows. So, it's unfortunate. Honestly, that scene from Pilot honestly gives me chills every single time. The acting, Peter Capaldi, the Murray Gold score, it's just incredible. But not only do I really love the final 3 episodes of this series, Peter Capaldi is also great. Bill Potts is just an incredible companion. I really love what they do with Missy. I genuinely really do, and I hate what they're doing with the Master currently by making him evil again. I know, of course, it was always going to happen. It was imminent that the Master would become evil again, but, always really kind of grinds my gears that we never saw how Missy went from being good to being evil again. Even if it is a previous incarnation, I don't care. For me, within this series, basically every episode is at least from mid to good, bar the Eaters of Light, the only episode in this series that I genuinely don't like. Before I say my other favourite or best season of New Who, I want to give an honourable mention to Series 4, arguably what people say and crown as the best series of New Who. Gotta at least mention it. Another honourable mention is Series 3. I absolutely adore Series 3, but for me, okay, pretty controversially, my second favourite season, and what I personally think is the second best season of the show, is Season 2. Army of Ghosts, Doomsday, The Runaway Bride, all incredible episodes. The Rise of the Cybermen, The Age of Steel, The Impossible Planet, and The Satan Pit, genuinely fantastic episodes, some of my favourite of the entire show. Tooth and Claw is a pretty enjoyable episode, School Reunion is great, and The Girl in the Fireplace, well, it's The Girl in the Fireplace. And of course, you've got some really fun episodes like New Earth. Of course, you've got some really shit episodes like Love and Monsters and Fear Her, but I ultimately think this series is full of iconic moments, iconic characters, some really good character development. Of course, we are introduced to David Tennant's 10th Doctor. I know, controversially again, but I really like the dynamic that Ten and Rose has within this season. I absolutely love how they tackle the return of the Cybermen, the return of Sarah Jane Smith. It's genuinely some of the best episodes of the entire show, and ultimately, I think it deserves to be considered as one of the best seasons of New Who. But ultimately, what I'm saying is the best is just my favourite seasons. So please feel free to comment that down below, and also your worst seasons of New Who. What do you think? Please feel free to comment down below. But it has been 20 years since this show came back onto screens, and it's been incredible throughout. Even low points of the show, or what I personally think are low points, I've found enjoyment within this show, and I can't wait to see it on screen for another 20 years. But thank you everyone for watching, and subscribe, do all that lovely stuff, and I'll catch you in the next Doctor Who video.